Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live program from Salt Lake City. Well, maybe not, Park City, Utah, up on the mountains here. The sun is going to come up today, folks, believe it or not. This is PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios on the road. We appreciate you joining in. It's very early here, and I'm tired. We got JC. If you missed it last night, the Gators lose 24-11. I'm extremely disappointed. I don't know how else to put it. Self-inflicted wounds. If we came out throwing after the second series, who knows what would have happened. But anyway, let's bring JC in on the Titan MR text line. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Hey, QB, doing well, thank you. Tough night last night. Little of the same sentiment as you just shared. I really kind of expected a little bit more. I was hoping that Florida could pull this thing off. When you are a team looking for a new identity and your team is trying to establish something new, you want to display something that would excite the fans and impress everybody. But last night was just kind of one of those games where, as you said, self-inflicted wounds, maybe a different scheme or something would have been a little bit more fun to watch. 11 points is just not going to win a game on the road, and certainly not a place like this. And Utah had the fans there; they were excited. It was a great environment. I was really happy to be there and see it. It's unfortunate that Florida couldn't piece together something that would make it more interesting at the end there.
Yeah, it was just, they moved the football, but I think we had 5, I don't have my sheet in front of me, but I think it was around 5, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, illegal procedures. And the bottom line was you cannot do that. And it just, the punt return game was huge mistakes fielding the football at certain times. You miss a field goal to make it 7-6. And then they turn around and drive it right down your throat. We get a shank punt. Just too many self-inflicted wounds. Just like I said, extremely disappointed from a play calling standpoint. If anybody listened to the broadcast after the second series, I was like, we need to throw the ball every down. I don't care who your running backs are. Football, it's not difficult. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
If you have a run play called and they have too many that you cannot block them all, I don't care who the line is. If they have you outnumbered, you have to attack at the weakness, which is outside. We did that the second half, but the problem is when you're down 21 points, it's just too hard to come back. So I think this team has really good wideouts. I think they got a good quarterback, and I think they got good running backs. So if I was in charge, I would come out firing. I just would. I think the quarterback showed last night he can play. Defensively, we still may wait till we didn't pressure the quarterback nearly enough. Some guys running wide open. Special teams just wasn't very good. It's just extremely disappointing. So anyway, we got a couple of Facebook Lives here. Bradley says, "Go Gators! Great to be a Florida Gator. Learn from this and improve. I think you can tell how the season is going to be by the attitudes on the plane today." I don't know. Hopefully their attitudes are good. Brandon says, "Pre-snap motion, 3, 3rd and 1 drives on 3 pre-snap motions on 3rd down." I guess he's talking about. Yeah. So just self-inflicted. Give Utah. It's exactly they are who they are. They line up where they're going to be on defense. You know what they're going to do on offense, and they just don't make penalties. And they don't wow you. They just play good, solid football.
And, you mentioned the quarterback. I was pleased with what I saw from Grant. He had to be excited to get his first shot at this. New team, new group, new fans, new everything. And I thought, for the most part, he did his job. They don't ask him to do a whole lot. But like you said, I would have liked to see a little bit more aggressive play calling down there, especially in the red zone. They had a couple chances. QB. When Florida was winning football games, all I can remember is how aggressive Florida would be, throwing the ball in the end zone, getting the defense to treat you honest. And I just didn't get the feeling that they really took it to Utah at any point in the game. But this is the first game, and people tend to overreact after the first game, obviously. But I agree with you. I was disappointed, man. I was expecting and hoping for more. I wanted to shout out to a couple folks I got to sit next to from the Gator Nation, Tom and Katie Raleigh from Newport Beach, California. They were so nice, and they're going to be at the McNeese State game next week. And I thought the Gator Nation really represented itself well. It was a nice crowd up there in the corner of the end zone in the southwest side. And, I thought the environment was all you would want in a first game. But Florida, you can't beat yourself. You can't do that on the road. And even though it's the first game, I think they'll get better. But I don't know what you're going to get out of next week's game. Hopefully something a little bit more exciting. I think they got to be a little bit more aggressive. And like you said, I think they got to take some shots and maybe be a little bit more confident trying to move the ball downfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one area that was poor. It was the entire football team. If you had any bright spot that came out of this game, as I said, Trey Wilson is going to be a phenomenal football player. Got to get to him the ball more. Right now, his decision on punt returning, maybe not put him back there right now. A lot of people on Facebook Live are asking about how can you have two number 3s on the field at the same time. Look, there's no excuse for that. The only thing I can say is a week ago, or maybe less than a week ago, he was number 21, and so I know they changed that. They walked through it, but maybe it just slipped by because he had changed his number. But it should not have to play. That should not happen at all. Buck says, and how about our safeties that I've been calling out getting caught flat-footed on the first play for Utah? Yeah, R.J. Moten played it poorly. He's the deep safety, middle field. You cannot let a ball be thrown over your head. Jason Marshall funneled his guy to his help, which is inside. And anyway, Brandon says podcasters lied all summer long. I don't know what we lied about. I told you we could throw the football.
300 yards. I mean, what do you have? 300 yards?
333 yards, over 70%. And quite honestly, I would have thrown it more. Like I said, I would have. Yeah. If anybody listened to the broadcast, we should have been throwing after the first drive. Laney says, "Shane, we look slow. I was hoping to see improvement from last year. We regressed." Yeah, I mean, it was hard to tell. So. We got a ton of Dan asked, was there a standing room only section? Looked like on TV a bunch of Gators standing and hanging out. Well, they set a record for the most people there. I think it was 53,000 something. So I'm not sure were people standing around standing room only, JC? Did you see that?
There's plenty of seats where I sat. I was 9 rows up on the 10-yard line in the south end zone, and I didn't see standing room only. I didn't feel like there was only standing room seats available. In the stadium, it felt great, but there were open seats. People, I saw people moving out in front of me. One thing I did not see, QB, was damn concessions. They did not know there was a game on Thursday, August 30th, at the University of Utah, because the concession stands. Not that anybody cares about this, except for those who went to the game, but it was awful. And you basically had to wait about 30 minutes to get yourself something to drink. I wanted to go get a Diet Pepsi, and by God, they had 2 cases of Diet Pepsi sitting outside, and the guy was trying to fish through a ice box to find me one, and he couldn't. And I said, well, there they are right there, but they're hot. So anyway, it's first game stuff. I'm not ready to just crap on this team yet. I know there's a lot of things they're going to work on, and I think at some point you're going to have to play another game against another really good team. I guess that's in 2 weeks. So next week's game is important. It is, but let's be honest. They're going to play a team they shouldn't have any issues with, but they've got to fix issues with themselves, like you were talking about. These things with the numbers, these things with just stuff you would expect that should be worked out by now. I thought Utah played a disciplined game. They're not a team that beats itself. Kyle Whittingham does it. He never beats himself. And when you're playing a team like that, you have to be on. And I don't know. You said you would have thrown the ball more and something like that. What else would you have done differently than what you saw last night?
Well, I mean, like I said, when you look at how defense lines up, there's a weakness to every defense.
Yeah.
And I just sometimes if you listen to broadcasts, I know you didn't, JC, but I was telling Sean Kelly we need to throw it right here. We can't block it. And and then we run off tackle, and everybody wants to blame the offensive line. Now sometimes the line gets beat, but you could block everybody, and then you're going to have a free defender run clean and make the tackle. It's a numbers game in the box, and if I was running this offense, we would be more 65 to 70% throw, 30% run, because I really believe 1, 3, and 4 are difference makers at the wide receiver position. Pearsall, Caleb Douglas made some really good catches in traffic, and Trey Wilson. And I would play them until they were tired and had to come out. I would not rotate them every series or whatever they do. Those are my guys. If I thought
Pearsall had 8 catches. I mean,
I only had 1 in the first half. And also when you're in certain situations, I would get out of 11 personnel, which is 3 wides and a tight end, and go with 4 wides, just to put another faster guy on the field. Brandon Bradley says, thoughts on this getting an OC? Statistically, the offense is good, but when an OC helped dial the offense to be more effective, I mean, possibly. Again, whether it's an OC, whether it's Billy, whether it's the tight end coach, whoever, you just cannot beat your head against the wall, even though you have 2 outstanding running backs and you want to run the football. It just makes no sense. Like I said, if they play USC like how they played us, Caleb Williams would throw for 500 yards plus.
Yeah.
So, Nora asks, was that boy Ricky Pearsall wearing shorts? I guess he has short pants because they don't have a rule now that you have to cover your knees. I couldn't see that from the booth. So, anyway, very, very disappointing. There's no other way to put it. Scott wants to know on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Shane, do you still see 8 or 9 wins? It was a tough game to watch. Look, I could be wrong. I mean, it's still, you got 11 games to play. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But we have to, and I'm just talking from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, we've got to improve dramatically. But if you saw anything from the offense, they can throw and catch. And we know we can run the football when we have the numbers correct. And we move the football. You just cannot have a 4th and 1 and move. You cannot have multiple 3rd and 1s. I think we had 4 3rd and 1s, and we had illegal procedures. You just can't do that and try to beat anybody on the road. So we'll see. I'm not giving up, but like I said, what I saw in practice was that we could throw and catch, and hopefully y'all saw that as well. So anyway, Andy asked on Facebook Live, Shane, was there too much rotation offensively and defensively? How do you get a rhythm? That's a great question, Andy. I've never been a person who wants to rotate. I don't give a damn if people are upset that they aren't the starter. Play your best players and let's go play. Gene on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, says, QB, you need to run the offense. Could you win with Mertz? I'm not going to get into me running the offense. I don't want to deal with college football with the nonsense of recruiting kids and the nonsense of NIL. But if you can't see you can't win with Graham Mertz, you obviously didn't watch the game last night. The guy's tough as nails, high completion. And they missed a couple of throws early. He did, but that happened.
To me, like I said, the quarterback thing didn't bother me at all. I was okay with everything I saw from 1-5, but I just wanted to see something that was a little bit more exciting. And I think you're right about Wilson. I think the receivers looked really good. It was a lot better than what we probably have come to watch in the last couple of years. But my goodness, I think we'll see something, going forward that will get us excited. But nothing last night that happened really got me excited. I guess I'm just kind of let down that way. And I'm not trying to be too technical about it. I mean, you do a good job of that. I don't need to be rehashing of that. But the thing is that 11 points, bro, I mean, you got to give us more than that. You got to give us more than that. Odom tried it. He did his best. I don't know. I'm just kind of a little frustrated. That's all.
Well, I think everybody is. Ted on Facebook Live says, were you disappointed with the offensive line? A lot of new starters there. Jake Slaughter, who wasn't penciled in as the starter, had to start. got his first taste against a very good football team, a very good front four. But again, when you look at the offensive line play, I don't have the grades. I don't have long watched the tape. Again, you're going to give up some sacks here and there. Graham avoided a few, but some he couldn't avoid. But in the run game, again, you're going to have, if you got too many guys, you can't block them all. So Mitchell says Rob Sell should sell his house and leave town. Well, y'all loved Rob Sell last year. So I understand the frustration, people. I understand it. Brian on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says, I saw one shot downfield, and it was the best play of the game. Graham, great throw by Mertz, and a great catch by Burke. I wish – well, we took a few more shots. We had one shot that we took, and I think it was Caleb Douglas. Mertz threw the deep post, and Mertz ran like a deep comeback or a stop on their sideline. So there was some miscommunication there. But they took some shots. You can't – I mean, I thought we could have 8 yards, 12 yards, 14 yards, then bam, take your shot. People get frustrated when you run on first and second down. Now it's 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. It's just tough. It's tough. It's tough sledding to do that. So anyway, wasn't a good night. I was completely surprised, and we'll see. But you got to just bounce back, put it behind you. The team will fly home today. JC and I will play golf all the next couple of days, and the sun is starting to peek over the mountains. What mountains are these, JC? Do you know?
It's got to be the Rocky Mountains, QB. It's
Utah. No, I don't
not
think
the Colorado Rockies, but it's maybe the Sierra.
No, I don't think it is. I think they have a like the Wasatch or something mountain. Come on, JC. Geography. I thought you were good at geography.
Bad geography. QB, who would you like if you watch that Utah team? What would you compare them to with what we're used to seeing in the SEC? I mean, what kind of team is this, and what's Florida? How many things does Florida have to really get better at to get to a level that we're going to be happy?
Well, here's the thing. If you go back, and like I said on the air, usually whether you win a game or you lose a game, there's about 6 or 7 plays or things that happen during a game that you say that helped us win the game. Okay, with the self-inflicted wounds that we caused, we had no chance of winning that game because you put us behind the 8 ball. Like I said, I wish I was so mad I just threw my damn sheets away up at the in the press box. I think we had 4 or 5 3rd and 1s or 4th and 1s that cost us. And Joseph on Facebook Live brings up a good point. He says sometimes we had too many motions. I agree with that. So you can't do that when you go on the road against a 14th ranked team. I don't care if Cam Rising's playing or not because they are who they are. Utah's that team that I don't know who you compare them to, but I don't want to call them boring because that's not giving them enough credit. But they are somewhat of a boring football team. Would you agree?
Yeah,
they just do what they're supposed to do.
They play hard-nosed defense. They don't beat themselves, and they just take what's given to them. I mean, that team, at first play of the game, they kind of surprised everybody, went deep, it connected. Okay, great. But they're not the kind of team that's going to wow you with a flashy style or anything like that. But you got to be able to match up with them head-to-head physically. And in some respect, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I just didn't see that physical nature on Florida's side. I thought the defense, for the most part, kept them in there, tried to do the best they could, but they got no help on the other side of the ball. And like you said, the special teams was a joke. Kid missing the chip shot field goal, the shank punt. I don't know. That's those kinds of little things. I just want to see better. That's all. You got to put those things together to give those other guys on offense and defense a chance. That's all.
Okay, so since you're so great at geography, JC, Natasha on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, and I was right. I just didn't probably pronounce it correct because we talked about it on the broadcast last night. It's the Wasatch Mountains to the east, and to the north, you have the Ochre Mountains to the west.
Oh, very nice, Natasha. Yeah. Well, I can tell you it's about 52 degrees where I'm sitting. It's beautiful. It feels great. There's no humidity. The atmosphere last night, though, I'll tell you, Salt Lake City's 3,000 feet below where we are here in the Wasatch. But if you drew a line from Salt Lake City and went dead east, as the flow cries, you'd almost run into Pennsylvania. It's further up here than you think. But it's a great environment. It's a great place to visit. I hope the Gator fans that went felt good about going, but they certainly want to see more from the team they watch. So we'll see. I think it's going to happen, dude. I think they're going to get better. I don't think they can get much worse, but maybe they can. I don't know.
Yeah, we shall see. Let's get to the Titan our text line. There's a million.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let me pull them up here. See what we got.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Win or lose, here are some questions. Oh, this is from yesterday. I'm not going to read that one. We got to move on. We got to put that behind us.
Yeah.
Somebody asks me what WTF is going on. I guess that was during the game. This is from 904 from Dan. He says, Shane, I trust your assessment of this team. We have some ballers, but once refs enter the picture, well, we suck. Undisciplined, unacceptable. I didn't really have a problem with the crew, the SEC crew.
Right.
Yeah, it's just we played awful and we did dumb stuff.
Ready. Yeah, it just didn't look ready to me.
Well, you look ready. I mean, being ready and jumping off sides and certain ones, I don't know if it has anything to do with being ready. It's just dumb.
No.
This is Tom from Alaska. He says, not a good start. Not a well-coached team for how many coaches he has. Would agree. Play calling was very understanding. Mertz missed easy throws. What game did you watch, Tom? I mean, he only threw, 10 incompletions?
His percentage there was nothing wrong with his
over 70.
And he had 300 yards passing ball with virtually nothing else going right. But yeah, I mean, these self-inflicted wounds will correct. I think they'll self-correct. It has to. Otherwise, you got to find other kids to play. I mean, he's looking for guys that want to get out there and stay on the field. And we're going to find out.
Daryl on the Titan MR text line. Good morning. Other than killing ourselves last night, I thought the passing game was working and we should have stuck with it. Well, we did in the second half. We should have just done it more in the first. Mertz played pretty well, and I know what you mean about Trey Wilson. He needs to see the field more.
Yes, I liked him. He was one guy that stood out for me. I thought Pearsall in the second half did fine. And, they did a good job of targeting those guys. But, again, you have to put the ball in the end zone. You can't win without scoring touchdowns, bro. And everybody knows this. And I'm not saying anything profound. It's just, football, like you said, it's not hard. It's not complicated in a lot of ways. It's just basically execution and having a good plan and going after those defenses and exploiting the weaknesses. And Utah is a team that doesn't have many, but you can score on them. And, I just didn't see it.
JC, we have a text here on the Titan MR text line from Billy. He wants to know, what did you think about the atmosphere of this Pac-12 arena?
I think if you're comparing this to the rest of this conference, which is soon to dissolve in its current form, I mean, it may take on a different form or different shape with different schools. I don't know what their problems are going to be going forward after this season, other than not having enough teams. But as far as the atmosphere goes, it was as good as you'll find in this conference outside of perhaps Oregon. I've heard Oregon's a great place to watch a game. University of Washington there in Seattle is very exciting in many cases, but that's about all you got. You have 60,000 fans in the stadium. It reminded me of Florida Field back in the 70s and 80s, and there was nothing wrong with that. This is Utah. This is not a place where there's a lot of people, but they get a lot out of what they have here, and this coach knows what he's doing, and that's why he'll never leave here. He is their Bear Bryant. He is their, most famous coach, even including Urban, because this guy's been here longer. He's done it longer. And, to play here and to win here, QB, I mean, you look around this place, you don't think of football. You think of skiing, you think of golf, you think of hunting, you think of outdoors, but football is not lived 24/7 out here, and they do a great job of keeping this program competitive. They've won the Pac-12 2 years in a row. And I wouldn't say why they, other than Southern Cal, who's going to beat them down here? Maybe Oregon, but that's about all you got here. And I think they get a lot out of what they have.
Yeah, it was pretty cool for sure. Radware is a family-owned business that prides itself in excellent customer service while providing quality and affordable promotional products and customized apparel. We're going to take a quick timeout. We're going to come back, have one more quick segment with JC, and then we'll answer more questions. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Campus USA, put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Radware, F45, Quality Plumbing. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker Sporting Goods, Silver Q Billiards and Sports Bar, Cornerstone Financial Group. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Attention all Gator fans, Meldon Law is giving away a chance to experience the Florida-Georgia game like never before. 2-night stay at the Hilton on the River, dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse, 2 premium tickets to the game, and a football signed by Coach Billy Napier, and much more. Go to the Meldon Law Facebook page and look for the VIP experience for 2. Good luck and go Gators!
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. 1966 HBC beer is available at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Gator Games in the Swamp, and select retail outlets. Chris American Lager. That's 1966 HBC beer. JC, do you like that beer or do you like the other one better?
Yeah. No, I like that one. Wait, the other one? What was the other one?
5220.
Oh, no, 5220 was my favorite, the Pale Ale. But you know, at the Florida Games, you can get the 1966. It's not a bad deal. It's not cheap either. But
well, you're big money.
Yeah, well, it's not bad. It's not bad at all for football watching, and it doesn't fill you up. That's important. So,
all right, let's get to a couple of YouTubers. This is from Jared. He says Steve Spurrier Jr.'s Golden Hurricanes put up 42 points last night. Let's make him the OC. I don't know who they played though. Steven said, I saw what you did with the Guardians QB and offense. You should be the OC. Like I said, they ain't got enough money for me to deal with all that nonsense off the field stuff. So anyway, if you missed it last night, if you were sleeping, so somebody told me who lives in the Tampa area, JC, that is it. I don't know the cable company down there. Maybe is it Spectrum? Does that sound right?
Yeah, it does.
They're in a battle with ESPN, so nobody can watch the game. You have to watch it like on streaming on like an internet. Can you believe that?
No, that's hard to believe in this day and age. You know, Kimmy, let me ask you about that offensive coordinator question. You know, some folks mentioned last night, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Billy does a lot. He's a coach. He's an administrative recruiter. He's also the play caller, offensive coordinator. Do you think he would be better off continuing what he's doing or hiring an OC?
Well,
or is it hard for you to say that because, you know, we've had one game this year only, and we've got to.
Well, people brought this up last year. Do I think he's got too much on his plate? No, because even though he's at a different school, and I know it's a much bigger school and a high-profile program, he did it at Louisiana. It's what got him the job, JC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be like if I mean, and maybe so. Like again, I know he wants to establish the line of scrimmage, run the football, but you've got to use your playmakers on the outside. And like I said, I thought we threw the ball well. What I saw in practice, I was like, man, this team can throw and catch.
Yeah.
And my eyes didn't lie to me. I mean, they threw and caught last night against a good defense. So, you know, we'll see. You still got 11 games to go, but we've got to get. I don't know if creativity is the word. I do agree with Joseph sometimes. Sometimes we have too many emotions, and sometimes emotions help you get people outflanked, try to cause confusion with the defense. But again, I know we're all focusing on the offense, we've got to get 8,000 times better on defense and special teams as well. This is not just one phase of the game. It was all three phases of the game, and then dumbass penalties.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
That makes sense to me. I mean, that's what I'm hoping to see better. I just listen. I'm just like any other fan, really. I just want to get excited. I want somebody to make me feel excited about watching these guys. I've still got to wait for that, and hopefully it'll happen. Next two games, McNeese State, Tennessee, are important. They're at home, and maybe these guys can create some continuity, get confident, do away with these silly mistakes, and be a more cohesive team on offense. And defensively, I think that will feed off itself. If the defense is their mentality is, try to keep you in it, and the offense has to outscore their team. And you got to get the ball in the end zone, QB. That's the only thing I really just pissed me off last night. They got to get the damn ball in the end zone. So, anyway, I think they got the personnel to do it, but we got to see it first.
All right, JC, we're going to do our Peachland Dental picks for this weekend. You need to start pull those games up while respond to a couple of these questions. Silverback Concrete is a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that build commercial structures with unrivaled quality. Silverback Concrete, you stand on it, we stand by it. All right, we got a text here on the Titan Mar text line from Willie. Willie wants to know, what is wrong with Kingsley Aguaquin? I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. He was in a boot most of the week in practice, the few days I went out there. I wasn't sure if he'd play or not. Jake Slaughter, the redshirt freshman out of Trinity Castle, Ocala, had to get the start and was welcome to big-time football, no question about it. So I don't know if Kingsley will be back this week. They may just wait. Maybe he'll be back for Tennessee. Time will tell. JC, it's time for the Peachland Dental weekend picks. Gator Nation's number one choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte surrounding areas. Go visit them at peachlanddental.com. All right, what do we got?
All right, well, QB, the SEC gets started in full force this weekend. For some reason, they call this week one, even though we had games last weekend. But the schedule isn't anything that's going to overwhelm you in our league, but I'll throw some games at you, and you can tell me what you like and what we like. The first game I notice here is the Auburn Tigers laying 35 points to a team called UMass that won their first opening game since like the 30s on the road last week at New Mexico State. Auburn minus 35 against UMass. We get to see Hugh Freeze debut his team.
Well, the Minutemen went out and took it to the Aggies of New Mexico State. So with 35, I'm not sold on Peyton Thorne. I mean, I think he's a good little player. I think Auburn's going to win the game. But give me the Minutemen.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. I'm going to agree with you on that one. Give me the 35 and hope they can cover. Tennessee is playing Virginia, so we've got two teams that in their conference are hoping to have big years. Tennessee, though, is laying 4 touchdowns at home under Josh Heupel and your favorite quarterback, Joe Milton. Minus 28 points, QB.
Well, what's crazy is Virginia has just fallen off the face of the earth. Think about it, JC. Was it 3 years ago, maybe 4? I think it's 3 years ago. We played them in the Orange Bowl.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
I think Tennessee rolls them. I think Virginia's just absolutely awful. One of the worst teams in the ACC.
Okay, so in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Well, who are you taking?
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you. I think Tennessee blow them out. But Virginia, I don't know. Is it Al Groh still, or no? It's Bronco Mendenhall, right?
No, he's not there either. Al Groh? Al Groh hadn't coached there in 30 years.
Tells you what I know about Virginia Cavalier football. I'm going to take Tennessee with you, dude. We've got one big dog and one big favorite so far. Now, a game that I think a lot of folks will be interested in, and keep in mind, there's games on Friday night, tonight, but I'm going on the weekend games. In the SEC, we've got South Carolina in Charlotte. Big year for Beamer, Shane Beamer, and his quarterback, Spencer Rattler, playing another team with a great quarterback, Drew May.
That'd be Drake.
May.
Drew Drake.
North Carolina plays South Carolina. It's a 2.5-point spread for the Tar Heels in Charlotte. I'm staying with the league. I like South Carolina, and I don't know if you're as high on them as I am, but I like South Carolina.
No, I'm not high on them. I mean, I like Shane Beamer a lot. Spencer Rattler, you don't know who's going to show up. I'm a huge huge fan of Drake May. I think he's outstanding.
Yeah.
I think he's going to cause them problems. I don't know enough about North Carolina, though. I know Gene Chizik, who I think is a pretty good football coach, is going to be there as their defensive coordinator. Having said that, like I said, I don't know much about North Carolina. I just know they got one of the best players in college football. I'm going to go with the Tar Heels.
Okay, so we'll differ on that one. I'm going to stay with the league. Alabama with a new quarterback. Not sure if they're going to rotate 3 guys, play 2 guys, play 1 guy. It's probably going to be 2 different guys see action in this game against Middle Tennessee. And there's no way of predicting this game. They're 39-point favorites. Clearly on the field, they've got better personnel than Middle Tennessee State. It's a home opener, but Alabama's question is quarterback. Do you think they can cover 40 points?
Well, the Blue Raiders went to Miami and hammered
the
Hurricanes last year. Now, Rick Stockstill, who's been at Middle Tennessee, has been a very, very, very good football coach. I think they lost a lot of guys, though.
Yeah.
I think Alabama's going to win this. But I think with the new clock rules, that's another thing that drove me crazy last night. When we got so far behind, I'm like, these dudes are milking the clock and wearing us out.
Yeah.
So I think Alabama's going to be run heavy this year. I think Middle Tennessee loses by 35.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Give me the points in that one. TCU in Colorado. This is Deion's big debut with a completely new team. I'm sorry, he's got a lot of players from a different type of football playing now in big boy land against a team that has a lot of athletes. I think TCU wins by more than 3 touchdowns. It's 20 and a half.
Yeah, I think the Horned Frogs, again, I don't know who's taking over from Max Duggan there, but
I don't think
they got a good program. You know, I saw something, Tom Luganbill, who works for ESPN and does a lot of recruiting stuff. I saw him. He said Colorado, in his opinion, has the worst roster in all of college football. There was one other, maybe UMass or UConn, he thought might be worse than Colorado. So we'll see if he's correct or not. But I think TCU's got way too much for them.
There's not much left to really go through because a lot of these games are, mid-major type teams. I mean, a very, very easy schedule to start the season off with. Let's go to the weekend with Sunday's game through the weekend, I should say. Louisiana State and Florida State in a rematch from last year's game in the Superdome, QB. I know you love Brian Kelly's group. They're going to have a lot of really good players on the field for both teams. Florida State getting better under Mike Norvell. It's a 2-point spread. LSU is favored in Orlando.
LSU is going to be missing 2 really good players. Mason Smith, the defensive lineman. He's suspended because he got paid for autographs like a month before NIL, or something along those lines, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then John Emery, I'm not sure why he's not playing. He's their starting tailback. Having said that, I just think LSU is a better team overall to me than Florida State. I know that they've added some good weapons for Jordan Travis. I think if LSU and Harold Perkins defensively can keep Jordan Travis in the pocket to a certain point and force him to throw from the pocket, I don't think he's as good a thrower. But I like LSU in this game. So you're going to go against the conference in this one?
I'm buying the Seminoles this year, QB, and I could be really off base here, but they got ballers too, man. They got players all over the place, especially at wide receiver, big, tall kids, fast. Look, it's going to be athletes everywhere on the field in this game. This game probably has 2 teams with the best compilation of skill, talent, speed, and everything else of all the games this weekend, I think. So I don't know. I'm buying Florida State, but maybe I'm wrong. I know Gator fans don't really care for that, but the reality is what it is. It'll be a close game, but I'll take Florida State. And then finally, we end up with the Clemson Tigers against the Duke team that won something like 9 or 10 games. They won their bowl game last year. They won 9 games. This coach at Duke has done just a great job. They return a lot of players, and they're getting 13.5 points. And I know you love Clemson. They're your beloved Tigers, but I'm taking Duke, baby. I'm going to cover that 13. Because Duke is going to score points. They're going to be aggressive. When you watch Duke play, that's what I want to see with Florida. I want to see Florida be more like that. And just trying to –
You think they're going to score a lot on Clemson?
It's only 13 QB. It should be more than that.
Well, they got a really good quarterback, Riley.
They do.
But Clemson, to me, is going to they're going to go undefeated, and they're being a 14 playoff.
Undefeated.
I really do believe that. They are. Who's going to beat them? Your beloved Seminoles?
They're not my beloved Seminoles. The game is in Clemson. You're right this year.
No, I think the game is in the Georgia Dome. Isn't it like the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic?
No. When Clemson and FSU play, it's at Clemson. You're right. But no, this game is, this is one of those games in Atlanta. Clemson will still have 60,000 fans there. Duke will have 8. But Duke is just surprising to me. I don't know. It's only 13 points. I would have thought you'd seen a bigger number of that game. So,
all right. Facebook Live, Sandy Lamb says here, brought to you by Metal Law. Good luck on watching ESPN in Central Florida. They took the Florida game off 1 minute before kickoff.
God.
Could you imagine?
I just don't understand why this kind of thing happens. I mean, everybody knew the game was on Thursday, August 30th, and something like this happens. The paying subscribers should demand someone's head on a platter. You wait 8 months, 10 months, whatever it is, to watch your team play, and they pull a plug on you. I mean, what year is this? 2000 and so that's horrible, dude. I feel bad for those folks in Central Florida, the Gator fans that are there and want to watch the Gator game. It's terrible. But they got to listen to you and Sean Kelly, so.
Well, we don't know if they did or not. Maybe they downloaded it.
You got to listen to radio, right?
No, you can watch it on your computer streaming. Okay. I don't know how any of that works, but
right.
JC, the sun is coming up. What do you think?
Beautiful day in Park City. It's a great day to play golf. The grass here is as good as it is in Mississippi, man, on the golf course. The Poana and the
wait, hang on a second.
Grass is so beautiful.
The grass here is a lot better than Mississippi. Right?
Well, Mississippi, they take pride in their grass up there. This place is fantastic, folks. If you ever get a chance to vacation, this is more of a wintry vacation spot, but when it's not snowing here, golf is and outdoor activities here. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's not football country. But they really do a good job at that school down in Salt Lake. It's 2-time defending Pac-12 champion. When Cam Rising comes back, which might be in a month or so, I think they're going to challenge for the conference championship with USC and Oregon. And maybe Washington. Michael Penix is a very exciting player. This could be a pretty interesting little league with those 4 teams, and maybe someone else will pop up. UCLA could be a surprise team. So I think the final swan song for the Pac-12 could be interesting if you like good football. But out here, I'm worried about it. I didn't see a lot of Utah banners all over Park City. You have to go into Salt Lake to see that. But they do a good job here.
All right. Bubba on the Titan More text line says, JC, has the altitude bothered you at all?
Only when I had to run up the hill to get a ball that I hit in the mountain. And no, the altitude is it's like Shannon and I have been talking about all week. This is not, I mean, you have to be unhealthy. You have to have bad lungs and some COPD or something to be affected by this. This does not bother me. I have not. You just got to stay hydrated, QB. You know how it is. Are you bothered by this altitude? We're 7,000 feet where we are right now. And before we get out of here, because we're going to be short today, I wanted to bring this attention or ask this question real quick before we get out of here to the listeners. Did y'all think the altitude, or did they talk about it on the people that can watch it, I guess, do they talk about it on the telecast about the altitude bothering the Florida Gators? I didn't notice any of it. I didn't even think about that, QB. And Salt Lake City is about 3,000 feet above sea level. That's not a big deal. That's lower than Denver and much lower than where we are here up in Park City, up the hill. This is a great area. It's a great area to come visit. I highly recommend it. And if you get a chance to come here, I think you should take advantage of it. It's a direct flight out of Orlando and Tampa on Delta. It's a hub city, so the airport is big. It's easy to get to. It's a fun place. But no, the altitude did not affect me. I don't think it affected anybody at the game, and certainly not the football team. I do not believe that to be the case. No.
Buck says we were sure sucking on those oxygen cans. Probably because they told them to, just to be safe. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, everybody says they had the portable O2 tanks on the Gator bench, which I think everybody does that when they come here. So anyway, before I want to get out of here, JC, yesterday, me and Cardoz and Steve Egan, who's our engineer, we did a little, we came up to Park City, dropped my golf clubs off, went back. Yeah. But we stopped by where they held the Olympics there, the ski slopes, the ski jumps. Holy moly. That stuff just scared me looking at it. Right. These people are nuts that do those ski jumps.
It's the
and the ski slopes were so steep.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
This is a 5-star skiing resort for folks who love to ski, and that's not my world right there, bro. I'm a lowlander from Florida, but this is exciting for those kinds of activities, man. It's a great place to come to. I can't say enough about it. I just wish the damn football team would come in here and beat the home guys, but they didn't. So we move on. You can't look backwards. You got to look forward. We're going to get better. It's going to get better, but don't order your Sugar Bowl tickets yet.
Well, is that where is that part of the 14 playoff?
I mean, it could be. I don't. I think the Rose Bowl is part of the rotation. That's exciting for folks who don't get out west much. But you know, I'd have to look that up. I know I knew it, but it's listen. These guys are going to get better, but Billy's got a big responsibility. He's getting paid a lot of money. Gator fans have high expectations, and they should. And based on what Florida's done in the past, you know, we got to see better things, and we will. I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet.
Yeah, Annie says, Shane, you have to try the luge once. Well, I saw it, and man, no, that mountain, those mountains, what I call them, the Wasatch Mountains, they were over there.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
Yeah, they are right there. I mean, look at that. No, it's a great place, folks. I can't say enough about it. I really can't. This is big money too. In this place called the Promontory, you're looking at $15 million houses on mountains. I mean, it's nothing more. It's just.
And
incredible.
JC, we appreciate you renting this house for us.
Yeah. Okay. It's out of my league, man, but I'm happy to be here. Yep.
All right, guys. We appreciate y'all chiming in on this day. Yeah. It's not fun to come on a podcast when things go that way, but it's one game. You got to move forward. Lost to a good football team, and a lot of it was self-inflicted. It is what it is. Got to play better. Got to coach better, and we'll talk about it all next week. And hope everybody has a great weekend, great Labor Day, and we'll see you next week. Okay. And get ready for the McNeese Cowboys. Have a great day. Take care. See y'all next week.
Okay.